There's a final boss every man must face. Not in a game, not in the world, inside himself. Most men run from it, few ever confront it, and only a handful defeat it. Today, you're going to find out which one you are. Number one, your mind is the ultimate enemy. Your mind is the one opponent that never sleeps, never quits, and never stops studying you. It knows every weakness you've tried to hide, every insecurity you pretend doesn't exist, every moment of hesitation you've buried deep. It's the voice that whispers the easy way out, the comfortable path, the option that demands nothing from you but takes everything in return. It doesn't need force to defeat you. All it needs is for you to believe its lies. The mind convinces you that you're tired when you're capable of more, that you're done when you still have strength left, that you should wait for a better time when the only time you will ever have is now. It's subtle, patient, and relentless, shaping your choices long before you realize you're making them. The mind becomes the enemy when it operates without discipline. When you let it drift, it creates illusions of failure long before you've even started. It magnifies fear, amplifies doubt, and shrinks your potential until your goals look impossible. It traps you in memories of the past and worries about the future so you never take action in the present. It distracts you with comfort, routines, and shortcuts that slowly poison your ambition. It convinces you that you're a victim of circumstances instead of the architect of your future. And the most dangerous part is that it does all this quietly, without confrontation, without warning, until you suddenly wake up in the same place you've been for years, wondering where all the time went. But the enemy isn't the thoughts themselves. It's the version of your mind that you allow to dominate your decisions. It's the undisciplined mind that feeds on your fears and uses them as weapons against your progress. It's the mind that wants immediate gratification, not long-term fulfillment. The mind that chooses what feels good now over what builds strength, character, and power. When your mind is left unchecked, it turns simple challenges into impossible battles. It makes effort feel unbearable and discipline feel like punishment. It convinces you that you'll fail before you even attempt to win. It becomes a barrier thicker than any wall and a chain heavier than any weight. Your mind is the ultimate enemy because it's built from your own experiences, your own fears, your own weaknesses, and it knows exactly how to use them against you. Number two, comfort is the silent destroyer. Comfort doesn't break you in a single moment. It breaks you slowly, quietly, and almost unnoticeably. It wraps itself around your life in soft layers, warm blankets, easy routines, predictable days, and convinces you that this is where you belong. It whispers that you've earned the right to relax, that there's no need to push harder, that the world will wait while you take it easy. Comfort doesn't attack you, it seduces you. It feeds you a steady diet of small pleasures and quick rewards until you forget what it feels like to chase something bigger. It makes you feel safe, but that safety is an illusion, a trap disguised as peace. And while you sink deeper into it, your potential slowly suffocates beneath the weight of your own inactivity. Comfort is dangerous because it never announces its arrival. It slips into habits, skipping the gym for one day that becomes a week, putting off your goals until tomorrow that turns into next month, choosing entertainment over discipline until your ambition is buried under hours of distraction. It transforms your standards without you even realizing it. What once felt unacceptable slowly becomes normal. What once felt lazy becomes justifiable. What once felt like a compromise becomes your identity. And every time you choose the path of ease, comfort tightens its grip, training your mind to retreat instead of advance, to settle instead of rise, to hide instead of confront. The silent destroyer doesn't rip dreams away. It erodes them grain by grain. It weakens your will by teaching you that discomfort is something to avoid instead of something to conquer. It convinces you that challenges are threats instead of opportunities. It rewires your instincts so that the slightest resistance makes you recoil and the smallest effort feels overwhelming. Comfort doesn't care about your goals, your future, or the man you want to become. It only cares about keeping you exactly where you are, locked in a loop of low effort and low reward. It numbs your hunger, dulls your discipline, and blinds you to the life you could be living. And by the time you notice what it has taken from you, years have passed, and the gap between who you are and who you could have been has widened into something you can no longer ignore. Number three, Discipline builds the real warrior. Discipline is the backbone of every man who achieves greatness. It is the quiet force that transforms potential into action, desire into results, and dreams into reality. Without discipline, talent is wasted, ambition is meaningless, and strength is temporary. Discipline is not glamorous. It does not announce itself with fanfare or praise. It exists in the early mornings when the rest of the world sleeps, in the moments when you push your body and mind beyond what feels comfortable, in the choices that no one watches. The real warrior is not created in moments of comfort or convenience. He is forged in the repetition of small, deliberate acts that accumulate into unstoppable power over time. Discipline trains the mind to ignore excuses, to act when motivation fades, and to maintain consistency even when desire falters. The path of discipline is not easy because it demands constant confrontation with yourself. It requires saying no to temporary pleasure in favor of long-term victory, choosing effort over ease, and persisting when every fiber of your body and mind screams to stop. A disciplined man understands that progress is measured in inches, not in grand gestures, and that victory is earned in the grind, not granted by luck. Discipline teaches patience because every great achievement is the product of countless repetitions and countless moments when you could have quit but didn't. It molds character by testing your limits, exposing your weaknesses, and forcing you to rise above them every single day. Without discipline, skill fades, strength diminishes, and courage is fleeting. With it, the warrior becomes relentless, unshakable, and precise. Discipline also creates freedom in ways most men fail to understand. The disciplined man is not a slave to emotion, impulse, or fear. He does not wait for the perfect conditions, the right mood, or external validation. He acts because he has trained himself to act, no matter what circumstances arise. Every habit he builds, every sacrifice he makes, every small victory over comfort and distraction strengthens him, giving him control over his life instead of being controlled by it. Discipline transforms chaos into order, doubt into confidence, and weakness into resilience. It is the unspoken code that separates those who merely survive from those who dominate, those who complain from those who conquer, and those who dream from those who achieve. Discipline is not a tool. It is the foundation of identity. It is the measure of a man's commitment to himself and to the standards he refuses to compromise. It is the armor he wears in every battle, the weapon he wields when others falter, and the relentless force that propels him forward when the world tells him to stop. Discipline does not bow to fear or fatigue. It thrives on resistance, and it builds warriors who can endure, persist, and overcome in every arena of life. Number 4, self-doubt fuels weakness. Crush it. Self-doubt is one of the deadliest enemies a man can face because it exists entirely in the mind, yet it has the power to destroy action, ambition, and potential. It creeps in quietly, disguised as caution, hesitation, or humility, but its effect is the opposite of wisdom. It weakens, paralyzes, and undermines everything you are capable of achieving. Self-doubt convinces you that you are not enough, that your skills are lacking, that your efforts are meaningless. It whispers that failure is inevitable, that others are stronger, smarter, faster, or more deserving. And the moment you listen, even for a second, you start building a prison for yourself, one thought at a time. Every hesitation, every excuse, every maybe I can't is fuel for weakness. It feeds on your fear and grows stronger with every step you avoid taking, every challenge you refuse to face. The danger of self-doubt is that it is insidious. It doesn't always strike like a blow. More often, it slowly erodes confidence and courage until you are moving through life with your potential locked behind invisible chains. It magnifies mistakes, inflates obstacles, and rewrites your narrative to make you smaller than you are. It thrives when you compare yourself to others, when you measure your beginning against someone else's middle, or when you seek validation from those who do not understand your journey. Self-doubt transforms simple challenges into insurmountable barriers and turns the pursuit of excellence into a cycle of fear, procrastination, and self-criticism. Every moment spent doubting yourself is a moment wasted, a moment where strength could have been built, skills could have been sharpened, and victories could have been claimed. Crushing self-doubt requires more than positive thinking. It requires action, repetition, and confrontation. You must look it squarely in the eye and refuse to allow it to dictate your choices. Every task you complete despite uncertainty, every risk you take in the face of fear, every time you choose discipline over hesitation, you strip its power away. You replace the voice of doubt with the voice of accountability and ownership. You prove to yourself that capability is earned through effort, not imagined through fear. You strengthen your mind by testing it, by pressing into discomfort, and by refusing to let imagined limitations control real-world outcomes. Each victory over doubt builds resilience, courage, and confidence, transforming what once held you back into the foundation for strength. Self-doubt fuels weakness because it feeds on inaction, hesitation, and fear. Crushing it is not optional for the man who wants to rise above mediocrity. It is mandatory. It is the line between stagnation and growth, failure and triumph, survival and mastery. Crushing self-doubt is a choice, repeated every day, in every decision, in every action, until the weak voice inside no longer has a place to speak. Number 5, pain is the test. Pass it daily. Pain is not an accident. Pain is not a punishment. Pain is the measure of your commitment, the mirror that reflects your true strength, and the battlefield where character is forged. Every man will encounter pain, not just physical, but mental, emotional, and spiritual. It comes in waves, in moments that feel unbearable, in choices that demand more than you think you have to give. The world is full of men who shy away from it, who avoid the challenge, who seek comfort and ease, and they are the ones who stagnate, who fail to grow, who live lives far beneath their potential. Pain is not optional for growth, it is the test. Every day it will show up in different forms: long hours, brutal workouts, failures, rejection, criticism, and the unrelenting voice inside that tells you to quit. Passing this test is the only way to progress. Pain is the ultimate teacher because it does not lie. It does not give partial credit. It does not bend to excuses or compromise for comfort. When you feel it, you know exactly where you stand. When your body aches, when your mind protests, when your will screams to stop, that is the moment that separates the men who merely exist from the men who rise. Pain reveals weakness, but it also reveals opportunity. It exposes where you have allowed yourself to fall short, where laziness or distraction has crept in, where discipline has wavered. And if you embrace it, if you push through it, if you choose to endure it rather than escape it, that is when growth begins. Every time you choose to face the discomfort, you pass a test that the world does not administer to the faint of heart. You train resilience, you train courage, you train excellence. Passing the test of pain requires consistency. It is not a single heroic moment or a one-time victory. It is a daily choice to embrace struggle rather than flee from it. It is the cold mornings you drag yourself out of bed, the extra mile you run when your legs are screaming, the words you speak when fear wants to silence you, the projects you finish when doubt wants to stop you. Pain does not discriminate. It comes for everyone, but only those who face it repeatedly, who condition themselves to endure it, who use it as a catalyst instead of a crutch, will grow stronger. Every day you test your limits. Every day you face discomfort. Every day you refuse to retreat. You pass another round of the test. And the man who treats pain as a teacher, who welcomes it as a challenge, who does not let it break him, builds a life that is unshakable, relentless, and unstoppable. Number 6, master yourself. Defeat the boss. The final boss every man must face is not an enemy outside of himself. It is not competition, circumstance, or fate. The final boss is the man inside, the one who doubts, hesitates, procrastinates, complains, and settles for less. Mastering yourself is the only way to defeat him. Mastery begins with awareness, knowing your weaknesses, your fears, your patterns, your excuses. It requires brutal honesty and relentless observation because the man you must conquer is clever, patient, and intimately familiar with every corner of your mind. He will exploit your pride, your laziness, your hesitation. He will test your discipline, your patience, your courage. To defeat him, you must stop running from your flaws and confront them head on. Every thought, every habit, every impulse must be examined, understood, and either controlled or eliminated. Self-mastery is forged in action, not words. It is built in the small choices you make each day, the decisions to act when motivation is gone, to push when your body resists, to stay disciplined when distractions tempt you. It is built in routines that enforce consistency, in habits that shape your character, in endurance that strengthens your will. The man who masters himself does not wait for perfect conditions, for ideal circumstances, or for external approval. He acts. He commits. He takes ownership of his failures, and he does not hide from his responsibilities. Every time he chooses the harder path, every time he acts in alignment with his principles, he weakens the boss inside and strengthens the warrior. Self-mastery is the armor, the weapon, and the battlefield all at once. Mastering yourself also means mastering your mind. The voice of doubt, fear, and comfort must be silenced with action. The man who dominates himself does not let emotion dictate decisions. He does not negotiate with weakness. He plans, he executes, he endures, and he repeats. He understands that victory over external challenges begins with victory over internal ones. The moment you gain control over your impulses, your thoughts, and your habits, you no longer react to life. You shape it. You no longer allow circumstance or opinion to steer you. You steer yourself. And in that control lies the power to defeat the final boss, the power to rise above mediocrity, to face challenges with clarity and courage, and to take the life you were capable of building from your own hands. Master yourself, and the boss loses his strength. Master yourself, and indecision, fear, and weakness crumble. Master yourself, and you become relentless. You become disciplined. You become unstoppable. Every choice, every action, every struggle you endure is another strike against the boss, another step toward victory, and another layer of resilience that cannot be broken. The final boss lives inside you, and he doesn't wait. Face your doubts, embrace the pain, and master yourself every single day. Discipline, courage, and relentless action are your weapons. Rise, fight, and become the man who cannot be defeated.